Well, hello there once again, Wildcat fans. Welcome to another men's soccer show. I'm Brad Welburn, and as you can see to my left, we're joined by the guy who knows about LC men's soccer, the head coach, Claudy St. Louis, as we talk about last week's matches and look ahead to what could be, and I think we'll get into that in a second, what could be a turning point maybe for the team this year. But let's get into last week first. Started on Thursday with a big one against Mary Hardin Baylor, one of the top teams in the conference. And I guess first, because it was one of those games where, we got that goal there towards the end of the first half, and we were feeling the momentum and everything. But then Mary Hardin Baylor proving that, why they're one of the better teams in the conference, come back in the second half and score 3 goals to take the victory. But was it one of those deals where you got that goal and then maybe you just started playing on your laurels a little bit and let Mary Hardin Baylor kind of come back, or what was it?
Yep, that's probably pretty much it. I kind of felt it at halftime. There was a lot of giggling, a lot of just chatter, just the energy and the mood was different, as if we had already won the match. And like you said, Mary Hardin Baylor, it's a good team. Just came out and took it from us, took the win straight from our hands. Not to mention they scored 2 goals on set pieces, which was especially frustrating because that's one of the things I spoke specifically to my guys about before the game. One of the goals happened exactly the way I said it would happen, and we still just weren't focused and disciplined enough to stop those. So 2 of the goals I thought for sure we should have not let in, the set piece goals. And so it was a frustrating way, not just to lose a lead, but to lose a lead in that fashion as well.
Well, one of the things, though, that I noticed there at the game, too, was that Mary Hardin Baylor had to work for all of their stuff. You could see some of the frustration on their players that, Nathan was making a save or a defense was making a stop or whatever it was. And so taking it from that angle, that's got to make you feel pretty good knowing that this group of guys you have, this relatively new group, has been able to kind of frustrate one of the better teams in the conference.
Yeah, and I think most teams this year have had that kind of experience. I think they were expecting last year's LC, and I think obviously we have a completely different team, so most teams are realizing in the game, like, oh, this is a match. There haven't been too many teams, even the Howard Payne game, we even made that a match at some point. So most teams are realizing they have to bring their best to beat us. It's not a cakewalk, and we're going to make it challenging for the most part, And
then moving on to Concordia on Saturday, they went 3-0, I believe was the final. What do you think there was a little bit of maybe hangover from that Mary Hardin Baylor game to that? Because it didn't really seem like they were all there.
Yeah, I think the early start time kind of changed things. I hate to make excuses, but I think the guys are just in a pattern of, hey, we play 7:30 on Thursdays, 4:30 on Saturdays, and kicking off 3 hours earlier changed that. It changed lunch. It changed everything about the day for them, and it kind of just threw off the rhythm. But once again, we let up set pieces. We gave up a PK, then we got scored on a header. I was reminding the guys or showing the guys, out of the 2 games this past week, only 2 of the goals came in the run of play. 4 of the 6 we conceded are set pieces. These are things we have to be able to stop, So those are the kinds of things where I say, look, guys, you're not playing terribly. You just have to focus 90 minutes in every single possession. It's not like teams are just putting 8 past you just in a run of play, and things of that nature. So, yeah, it was a frustrating game. I told the guys I thought it was one of the worst performances they put forward. But I do understand there are circumstances that kind of also contributed to that.
So is that one of the things maybe that you've turned kind of to focus a little bit more on, is the defense of those set pieces on corners and free balls inside the 30 yards or whatever? Yeah,
we spoke about it a lot more, and tomorrow we'll probably spend most of our practice, if not all of it, just defending set pieces and just working on that. I know Hardin Simmons, that's their forte. That's been their signature from the time I played at LC, and so they love set pieces, long throws, corner kicks, all of that, and I think it's in our best interest to make sure we can deal with them very, very well.
Right. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about, I guess, those 2 matches coming up. You got McMurray on Thursday, and then you're staying around town in Abilene to play Hardin-Simmons on Saturday. And like I said at the top of the show, two games that are two matches that you feel can be turning points, because we were talking before the show. You got those two teams, and Belhaven and ETBU, I think, coming up pretty soon. Laterno beating ETBU coming up pretty soon. All kind of log jammed there with one win in the conference. So an opportunity here for y'all to kind of make some moves. Yeah,
you hit the nail on the head. Obviously, those teams, although historically they're good, they seem to be struggling. Hardin-Simmons, especially, this season. So I think it's a situation where we just got to go there and perform and try to come out with a win or a point out of all of these places. And I think we should be able to do that. Some of these teams, I think in the years past, we've played them pretty tightly, even with lack of numbers or, lack of depth and things of that nature. So I think this year with this team, as talented as it is, it should be a situation where we can go into these places and get some wins.
Yeah, and harkening back to really the past few weeks, but certainly Saturday, a lot of guys have seen a lot of playing time for you this year. I know that's not only going to help when you put them in, but also going to keep people fresh as we get further and further into the season.
Absolutely, you're right again. We played a lot of guys. We're traveling with more guys this week than we did last time. So last time I thought we got a little tired and I didn't have the numbers that I'd like. So I decided to travel with a couple more guys. But I'm confident in the guys that I'm bringing, because they've gotten experience in these games and they've gotten minutes. And I'm sure that anybody I put in is capable of performing for us.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, folks, that's going to be about it for this week. Again, the guys are on the road at McMurray and Hardin-Simmons this weekend. They'll be back home next weekend for a Tuesday match, and then you're going to Alabama. It's kind of a off week in the conference, at least. Yeah. But we'll get into that next week. So be sure to follow them on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can follow or find the links for the coverage, live coverage from McMurray and Hardin-Simmons on our website as well, lcwildcats.net. And I guess for Claudy, thanks again for joining us. I'm Brad Welburn. We'll see you next time.